Hello all. In this video, we are going to learn how to deploy a Dash app onto Heroku servers. So Heroku is a cloud application platform and this is their website. Heroku can support many languages like JavaScript, Ruby, PHP, Python and many more. It is quite similar to AWS or Google Cloud Platform. The only benefit that I felt that it's easier to deploy applications on Heroku. So here is a sample application that I have deployed onto Heroku, and by the end of this video you will also be able to do the same. Now before starting, we need to install a few softwares. The first software is PyCharm, where we'll write our code. So you have to just go to this URL. I'll provide it in the description, and you have to download the community edition, which is free. The next software that is required is Git. So you have to just Google for Git download, and this is the first link, and from here you can download it for your platform. Next, what you have to do is you have to go to heroku.com and you have to click on sign up, and over here you have to create an account for yourself. Now there is one additional step that you have to do before getting registered. Heroku will send you a confirmation email that you have to verify, and then only you will be able to do this entire thing. Okay, that was step 3. The next step is you have to download one more software by the name of Heroku Cli, or command line interface. So this is the software, and it's a very important piece of software in this entire workflow. Command line interface is used to manage and scale your application, provision add-ons and view your application logs, and you can also use it to run your application locally. So what you have to do is you have to just go down and you have to download it for your platform. So if you're on Windows, you can download it from here, or from Mac. Okay, so that's it. That was the installation part. Now once you have installed the softwares, you have to open up PyCharm and you have to create a new project. In my case, please notice that I have selected my location to be desktop. You can also have it, and I have named my project as dash app will do, and I'll click on create, and PyCharm will create a new project by the name of dash app. So PyCharm has created a project by the name of dash app on my desktop. Just to cross check, I can go to my desktop, and here it is. Now what I'll do is I have two more files by the name of dashboard.py, and there is a CSV file that I'm going to use for this project. And what I'll do is I'll copy both these files into my folder like this. And now if I go back to PyCharm, you will notice that inside my root directory I have these two files, dashboard.py and gapminder.csv. So if I double click and open this py file, you will be able to see the code for dash. You can go through the code. I'll again add this file in the description, but we are not going to learn how to code this in this video. For that you can check out our dash videos. Now we are ready to deploy our application onto the server. I have created a series of steps that we are going to follow for this video. So we are already done with the creating account part. We have already downloaded CLI. We have already created the PyCharm project. Next, what we will do is we will initialize our Git repository in the current directory. For that, we'll go to terminal, and over here we'll just type git init, and it responded back with this message: initialized empty Git repository in this location. Okay, so now a few of you might get this error that Git is not recognized as an internal or external command. For that, what you have to do is you have to go to the location of git bash, and from there you have to copy the path into your environment variables, and that will resolve the issue. Meanwhile, if you are not getting the error, great. Let's move on to the next step. The next step is to install all the dependencies required. So if I go to my code and if I double click on this, you can see all of these packages are showing a red underline, which basically mean that they have not been imported in this location. So what I'll do is I'll import them one by one. So again, I'll go to terminal and I'll first install pandas. So I'll type pip install pandas. So as you can see, we have successfully installed pandas. Next, we will install Plotly. So Plotly is also installed. The last one that we will install is dash. So we will again write pip install dash. And dash is also installed. So now we are done with this step as well. Let's move on to the next step, which is installing G-Unicorn. So G-Unicorn is basically a server that we are going to deploy in our project. So for that, you will write pip install G-Unicorn. Hit enter. So we have successfully installed G-Unicorn as well. The next step is to add this particular piece of line in our code. So whenever you're making your dash code, you have to make sure that you add this line just beneath where you are creating your app. This one. Okay, so I've already done that. So let's move on to the next step. In the next step, what we have to do is we have to create a git ignore file. And we have to copy this code inside the git ignore file. So I'll go to project. On my folder, I'll right click, new file. The name of the file would be git ignore. And we'll just copy this piece of code and paste it over here. We'll also make sure all of these words are on different lines, and that's it. Next step, we are going to create a file called Proc file, which is very important for the workflow. Proc file is basically a text file which we keep inside our root directory to explicitly declare what command should be executed to start your application. So when we'll create our proc file, we'll put this code in the file. This declares a single process type web and the command needed to run it. So the name web is very important here. It declares that this process type will be attached to the HTTP routing stack of Heroku. So if you're not getting this, you can go through the documentation. They have explained it quite well there. Meanwhile, what we will do is we will create a new file. And we'll name it proc file. And inside the proc file, we're going to copy this piece of code and paste it over here. You have to just make sure that instead of this app name, you have to write the name of your Python file, which is dashboard in my case. Right? So that's done. The next step is to create a requirements.txt file. So this is the file which will tell the server what dependencies are required to run your project. So to generate a requirements.txt file, you will just copy and run this command. So you will write pip freeze requirements.txt. And we'll have to wait for some time, and after some time it will create a requirements.txt file inside our root directory. Yeah, so here it is. So if I double click on this, you can see these are the various requirements or dependencies that will be installed on the server. Okay, now we are getting into the main parts of the deployment. Now that we are ready with our entire application folder, now we will try to log in into Heroku, and for that we will run this command Heroku space login. You will hit enter. What this will do is this will create a connection into your browser, and over there it will open up a page from the website. Let's press any key. So as you can see, a new tab has been opened in my browser where Heroku is asking me to log in to the Heroku CLI. So I'll just click on log in, and it says you are logged in. I'll go back to the application and it says login in done and logged in as the email ID that I have registered with. Now the next command is Heroku create your application name. So this application name should be unique. So let's say in my case I'm giving it a unique name, something like this. So now you can't give this name because I have taken it. Okay, so I'll hit enter and Heroku will create a project by this name, or rather it will reserve a URL with this name, and it says that it's available and it has been done. In the next step we will add all the files to Git by running this command, and it's done. Next you will just commit with a message of initial launch, and you can see all the files have been staged. The last step would be to write git push Heroku master, and in this step you will be uploading all your files onto the server. This step might take some time, but it's okay. And as you can see, it says deploying done. The last command that you will write is Heroku PS scale web equal to 1. I'll just copy this command and I'll paste it over here. What this command is saying, it's basically asking Heroku to open up one dyno. One dyno is basically one container or one server instance, and you can easily change it to 2 or 3, but you have to make sure that you have verified your account. Otherwise you will not be able to scale up more than one dyno. Okay, so you'll just have to hit enter. And the web application is now running at 1 free, and this is the URL of the application. So I'll just click on the URL, and as you can see, this is the dashboard application that I was deploying. So over here I've got 3 visualizations, so you can easily go and change the values to see the result, right? Even on this one. So it's working fine. So thanks for watching. If you have any issues, you can comment it below. Bye.